No spinny circle for me this time.
Okay, I only had a tiny one. So what are you on right now, quickly?
We're going to Volskaya Foundry, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
We are.
And I'm still at 6667.
Ooh, so close. So close to summoning Santa. So we do see I am nearly up to you. 6-3, close enough.
All right. Speaking of Christmas and Santa, I recently went to my local grocery store, and here in Germany we have this weird custom of selling gingerbread in September already.
Why would gingerbread be exclusive to any other time of year?
Over here, at least, it's like a thing that people usually only eat around Christmas season. So with bright sunshine and beautiful weather, it feels a little weird to have Christmas, goodies already. What about the UK? Are you into, selling Christmas articles and stuff super early as well to get everybody in the mood?
Yes, but gingerbread is sold all year round. Gingerbread is just a thing in shops. It is like a traditional Christmas thing, but it's sold all the rest of the time as well.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm a gingerbread Nazebo main, so
I don't like gingerbread.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and the Nazebo one makes me a little bit creeped out.
Speaking of which, the Winter Veil skins should be available then in that beautiful holiday season.
Soon, yeah.
Soon.
And probably some new ones. They always do.
Oh man, if you could choose one hero, who would you love to have a Winter Veil skin for?
Ooh, Raynor and Muradin popping in. I'm seeing the heroes who are picked, and I'm gonna choose from the heroes who are picked. That's gonna be my thing here.
I just want, surprise, surprise, a Winter Veil variant because I'm inspired by Malthael, and I just want him to have, when you go for that Windblade, you go 2 big candy canes and you just smack people with them.
Either Sergeant Hammer, where she's like a toy train, or like a remote control tank kind of thing.
And in Siege mode, you just pop out gifts like poo, poo.
Yeah. The napalm is just a present that flies through the air. BFG is a sleigh that just circles the map.
Santa passing through.
Exactly. Or Reindeer Diablo.
Okay. Now we're getting really epic. I can totally see that.
All fours thing. Just rushing along, headbutts people, like butts them.
Oh, look at that. We have summoned the Nazebo ban. Sergeant Hammer, very susceptible to those spooters, especially in the late game.
And, well, yeah, very sensible here. It does leave Chromie open, but Chromie has sort of fallen out of favor recently. So, little bit riskier to deal with now, especially as TeamNut. They have actually not played Chromie at all seasons. We're going to pick up the Alexstrasza here, and a Blaze. They've left their second Assassin open, so they could pick something like this. But if we look at like the traditional Chromie counters, we have seen some people use a Stitches, which is now unlikely, as we already have Muradin and Blaze. We see the Nazebo, it's banned. The Chromie, they've never picked it.
And it's
They're
not really
kind
good
of out of options.
I mean, Chromie could work in a weird scenario in which they do not fall behind early. It's just not very good right now. Honestly, I would just love to see a Li Ming.
Yeah, I mean, they have played Li Ming, obviously. They played it earlier in the series.
Oh,
there's the Chromie.
They're still doing it.
First Chromie by TeamNut of the phase. That is a risky call, but we've only seen new Chromie versus Sergeant Hammer once this entire phase, and the Chromie won.
That is correct. She went for the almost exact same build that we're used to seeing on her, with Time Walker's Pursuit at level 1, and with the way her Dragon's Claw, her Bronze Talon, was changed. Dragon's Claw is a Genji talent that I still love myself.
Give that to Chromie, see what happens.
Give that to Chromie, indeed. It's a whole different vibe that Chromie has now. Hitting harder with auto attacks, dealing less damage with her abilities. Let's see if that's going to work out, though. Which heroic ability are we going to see here? With Raynor, I can see, the slowing stance having tremendous value, actually, because of that ace in the hole.
You want to know the irony here? the last time Chromie was pulled out in HGC China, it was in fact pulled out by KT.
Against Sergeant Hammer? Do you know that?
On this map against Sergeant Hammer. So if TeamNut can win with this, then irony, my name is Chromie.
Wow. So they're literally throwing KT's own medicine at them right now. You go take it. See what it tastes like.
But it tastes gross. That's the point. It's medicine. As we see the team preparing to head into Volskaya Foundry. Gonna be honest, I'm looking at these drafts and KT's is kind of a home run, but can Chromie bring it back for TeamNut?
All right, and TeamNut almost stabilizing here. They need one more game to equalize the score with Mercy, Atui, Malthael, Nightmare, and Dia.
And on the right, looking to close out the series, it is KT with TWT, Kiaru, Lotus, Timeless, and Bad.
Rainer, what are you doing? You can't... Oh my goodness, he's going for it again. I think we've seen this once already in China, and it had mixed success. Veteran marksman coming in here, the stackable pepper talent instead of the slow ace in the hole, and no exterminator either. So it takes so long to get rolling. I've actually had some conversations with Grandmaster players about this talent as well. Most of them saying it's not worth it. It takes too long, and ace in the hole is just so safe. But in longer battles, when the game reaches level 20 and beyond, especially with Unstable Compound, which increases the slow... it gives slow and increases the splash damage.
Yeah.
Can it really work out? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
Also, quick fact that just before I close the Chromie page here, since Whitemane has been released, Chromie has won so few games in China that she, on Master League, has a 0% win ratio. She has won games, but she's won so few that it's just not worth even putting the decimals.
All right, Chromie also not going for Time Walker's Pursuit, ladies and gentlemen, going for the Mounting Sand. So stacking up those Sandblast stacks is currently her top priority.
Makes sense. Get stacks, get damage. Speaking of damage, get stacks, get damage is the strategy for Raider as well here. As Raider already on 3 stacks at his level 1.
Yeah, he's really going to have to pay some attention to not waste, give him some pepper on minions, for example, on structures. You always want to hit enemy heroes to ramp up the damage as quickly as humanly possible. Now, next talent coming in for Chromie, the Draconic Barrage. And what that does is it increases the damage from Bronze Talents by an additional 100%. And hitting enemy heroes with Sandblast applies Bronze Talents to Chromie's next 2 basic attack. So full auto attack damage Chromie up to this point coming through.
It is pretty decent damage, could also put some good pressure onto frontliners, but we'll have to see how effective it can be. Remember, need to land those Qs consistently onto Sergeant Hammer to get the damage that way. And of course, if Hammer dodges any of them, the Mounting Sands is going to lose its stacks. As we do see...
Also can't afford to get blinded.
Can't afford to get blinded, very true. You'll lose out on those bonus damage attacks. Lotus has already started onto the support camp. They need to be careful, though. Nightmare hovering around the area. His team, are they going to react to this? Looks like maybe Blaze is actually rotating up as well here.
At this point, Sergeant Hammer is the literal tank in that game, absorbing all the damage from the Mercenary camp. Even punches through and tanks through the Chromie damage here by activating her E. Now, engage has happened. Dragon Knight, Dragon Queen has popped. Who's going to win that fight?
Good Dragon's Breath onto that front line there, as both Timeless and Kiaru decide that they just do not want to be here anymore. Timeless, though, he takes the short way back to base.
And we've been, you know, talking a lot about Chromie, but there's still the situations in which she excels, right? When enemies are clumped up, when she is uncontested, she can still rain down that damage. And now with that Mobius loop coming through, by the way, she's going to have pretty interesting utility there as well, reducing the cooldown by 2 and also restoring 50 mana. No longer is it crippled by the damage mitigation, which rendered it such a weak talent before the recent rework.
As Malthael... Sorry, as Nightmare looks from the side, Malthael does arrive, though. Quick block by Timeless onto that Q. That's quite nice. Look at this. The Decade Potions actually keeping Lotus pretty topped up for the moment, but how long will that last as that ability power ticks higher And higher, missed. Never mind, it's back to normal.
Back to normal indeed. So Chromie, I think her playstyle just shifted a little bit. You know, it shifted away from just relying on Dragon's Breath for the most part into, you know, auto attacks and Sandblast just chipping down their opponent's health a little more consistently here. Also, keep in mind that Dragon Queen is now on cooldown. So as poorly as that previous engagement went for KT, they at least baited out the Dragon's Queen, and they now don't have to worry about that one. They're holding the capture platform, but already TeamNut sitting at 89%. If at any given point they win a team fight, they're basically guaranteed that first objective.
Man, as much as this level 1 talent tilts me a little, I really like the idea of double infinitely stacking quests, because as everyone knows, I love infinitely stacking quests. Lotus does not like Chromie Sand, as he just gets absolutely obliterated by the combo of that and the Muradin, and with that, first protector of the game. 100% going to TeamNut, and they even take the audacious move of moving over to the other side and stealing away that fortification camp as well.
Nuts are now working with 100% efficiency right there. They're stealing away the objective. They even steal away another turret, as you said. They're playing this so well right now, and a lot of people gave, you know, a little bit of a smirk, maybe a little bit of a giggle onto that Chromie, but it is still working as intended as well. You know, dropping the pain, raining down some Sandfire onto Sergeant Hammer, and up to this point, Lotus just needs to be even more cautious in those team fights, I think.
They blast away those towers. This is the idea right now, just get as much XP as possible, but they do need to be careful. You can see Johanna wrapping it from the side. Nightmare, though, going to be a good enough zoning tool to allow both the other members to escape.
All right, slowing sands here for Chromie, by the way. So indeed, we have that additional crowd control potential. Keep in mind, of course, that Raynor, since he didn't go for Ace in the Hole, it does not really work with his bonus damage enabling anymore. But, you know, it's still going to be a cute talent to keep Irel at bay, to keep the backline safe. I like it.
Could be effective here. Is DF going to be pulling back?
Look how they can zone this objective as well.
It's such a good zoning talent, like you do say. Now they have 2 healing pulses. I'm pretty sure they still have 1 fortification camp. I don't think they have 2 anymore. Yeah, they only have 1. But that's still a pretty big deal. And with their own Merc camps coming off cooldown pretty soon, they're going to be able to try and make that play onto that fortification camp and get themselves a second turret, which will give them 4 items, which means KT are going to have a miserable time actually moving on to the point.
Honestly, Tetra, I'm not a big fan of how Lotus has been using siege tactics up to this point. I think he triggers it too early whenever a Chromie is about to land a W. 1 or 2 potions by Decker Kane, and you're basically back in good shape already. I think he really needs to save his siege tactics a little more when Muradin jumps in, when the Blaze is making a move here, because otherwise he might actually make himself that crucial target. Because the moment Sergeant Hammer uses siege tactics and is still in a dangerous situation, that's where the enemy team is going to make that call, that decisive engagement onto you, and you're actually going to fall very rapidly. Livebinder, by the way, coming through for Alex Strasser.
I like it. Try and remove some of that counter burst potential from the Jaina. And also it's just good protection for the frontliners, as Muradin currently pre his healing static could, in theory, be turned on if everyone else is put to sleep in the backline. So, yeah, someone should help Dia. Kiara could raid this 1 versus 1, but with the reinforcements, that will secure the turret, and like we already said, that makes it 4 items over to TeamNut, giving them a significant advantage on this next objective when it spawns.
And I know we don't really use item a lot in Heroes of the Storm, but on Volskaya, this is absolutely crucial. The team that has more items there will usually reign supreme in those longer drawn-out team fights, especially the turrets. I oftentimes think turrets are a little more important than the healing pulse, even, to be honest, because they can intercept skill shots, they have more health, they can zone out enemies quite handsomely, while the healing pulse can oftentimes, you know, get destroyed rather quickly.
Also, they do not overlap, so having more than 1 healing pulse is less value than having more than 1 turret. Damage does not overlap, it just adds more. Sorry, damage does overlap, it's just more damage, whereas the healing pulses act in the same way as healing totems do.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the atmosphere is heating up here a little bit now as both teams are gearing up for that second protector, and KT, they really can't take too much time here. Level 13 is about to hit. So they need to accelerate their soaking process a little bit here. They need to soak many lanes at the same time. Irel is already in the bottom. Muradin getting prevented from healing with his trade, second wind. 13's not here, though. They need to be so careful.
Yeah, finally 13 available for TeamNut. They begin to move up. Blaze and Kiaru dueling in this mid lane. Remember, this actually works out better for Kiaru because Blaze has a turret, so the longer he takes to get to the fight, the more value the rest of the team will get. Chromie, though, continuing to siege in damage. That's going to force everyone else off the point. The Hammer still being a pain. Finally, Nightmare begins to move forward, but has to be careful. Stormbolt misses, actually.
Wow, KT is playing this so well right now. They managed to actually keep a safe distance while still maintaining the platform on a neutral status. They even forced out a turret as well, so that is a little bit wasted there for sure. And now they just have to wait for Irel to arrive. The moment Blaze will be here, that's where they are going to go for that engage, though, I think, TeamNut. So, Timeless in trouble. Safe for now.
Gets healed. Bless shield onto the backline. You can see Chromie already has a Sand Echo, so here comes the encounter damage. BFT doesn't get too much damage, blocked by the bunker, in fact, from Dia. And wow, the entire engage of KT just got shut down hard.
It got shut down hard. They wasted the BFD, but they didn't use anything else other than the Blessed Shield. And they forced out the Dragon Queen as well, so I think it was still an okay team fight for KT to take. The bunker is also on cooldown, but they certainly would have loved to get more value. Now, the knockback onto Blaze will prevent him from rejoining this fight all too quickly. They still have one healing pulse, two healing pulses actually. They're using one right off the bat. Can they destroy it in time? KT, that is. Sergeant Hammer sniped it down.
Bad gets sniped in the backline as they creep forward. TeamNut looking to try and force Hammer to unsiege. They do so successfully. They still have items as well. It's the most important thing. With Dia still holding onto his turret, Muradin still having his healing pulse, and another healing pulse being available with Jaina dead.
Crazy.
Guess what TeamNut are gonna get? It's another healing pulse.
I didn't even saw how Jaina was blown up so quickly because all my attention was on Lotus and how he would snipe down that healing pulse. But yeah, KT is now in a really bad situation here. That protector is going to hit like a truck, and it's already doing its dirty work onto that top fort. They're getting pushed back here a little bit, though, by Sergeant Hammer's damage and the turret that was popped here. They're switching members. They want Muradin in that front line. Takes big damage already, though.
Yeah. And the reason they put the support in here, as we have had issues with this before, is because this way the support cannot get blown up. It's just that, once again, Alexstrasza has to be prepared to leave that protector at a moment's notice. Yes, she's safe in here. Yes, she cannot be blown up, which is great news when you're a support. But your team can. You have to be prepared to leave and just drop all your healing on one person as fast as you possibly can if you have to.
Massive kudos to KT, who are holding this very well, keeping the enemy protector at bay, chipping it down with that superior range of Sergeant Hammer. I think they could have also lost way more if they had played that a little less cautiously here. Middle fort still standing, top fort still standing. Kiaru, though, needs to be on his tippy toes right now. The moment the protector rotates down, beautiful disengage by Lotus this time, baits out a couple of abilities, and that protector didn't really give them all too much value. Still a solid one-level lead, mind you, by TeamNut. But that could have certainly been a bigger one.
Certainly could have, but they are alive, at least for the moment, as they move into the point. Going to be able to pick up yet another fortification camp, just add it to the list. You can see here, Reyna on 20 stacks of his level 1, 17 of Behemoth armor. So he's getting up there.
Yeah, he's slowly creeping up there. 20 stacks is not, outrageous, but it's also not amazing. So I think overall with the Ace in the Hole and their plan of, going for Slowing Sands anyways, Ace in the Hole would have certainly been the better talent. He didn't even go for the unstable component at level 7, right? So he doesn't even benefit off the stronger splash radius of the level 1. So a little bit of a weird build, probably one that I wouldn't have gone for myself. But as long as they're maintaining that lead and as long as it wins them games, who am I to judge?
I mean, currently it's like a 15 bonus damage, if I'm correct. So I'm pretty sure it's 0.75 per stack. So he's got a 15 bonus on give him some peppers damage, compared to 15% more, which is likely going to be at least 15 on every attack. So right now, massively losing out on value. It's just a question of how much longer this game will go on for. Then we'll start seeing value.
All right, Jaina almost has enough stacks here for that Ice Block, and I think Ice Block is going to be so crucial. You saw that earlier, how quickly she was blown up by Chromie. If she's ever out of position, she needs that extra protection tool to really, bait out a couple of abilities and maybe survive in a team fight. Now, 16 to 17, how many healing pulses are left for TeamNut? I believe they still had 2 in their possession. Yep, 2.
Yeah, 2 turrets, same as last time. As they move in, Pyromania has dropped. Stay one, listen, but woken up by the hammer mines, actually. We can see KT have already dropped their turret as TeamNut just raid through the... we can see Lifebinder has been used here as Yarel wraps around from behind. That is enough of a distraction to cease the push of TeamNut.
Actually crazy to see how bad of a position KT had, especially on Jaina, and they still got away with it. Looks like they're not willing to let this go without a fight. Strong shields here on Johanna. The damage was good onto Hammer there, though. Needs to completely evacuate.
They've used 2 healing pulses in this fight. You can see the damage being dropped there, but the healing pulse tops them back off. They're able to take down Yarel. Yarel had already used our defender. Timeless.
Rainer, 1 shot, 1 kill.
Oh, never mind. Denied coming in here. Alexstrasza making the most of her range to start focusing down a 4 Rainer joint. But they burned 2 healing pulses for a healing pulse, so...
Good value for KT. Say what you will.
Yeah, I mean, they also burn a healing pulse, so... Sorry, they burn a turret, sorry. So, I
mean, as long as you start burning some of those items on your on the opposing team, right? Without, let's say, losing a team fight in a disaster, which that definitely wasn't, I think you're still okay. 10 seconds, though, until Irel comes back. Top lane is getting pushed by red mercenaries. So KT, if they draw this out a little longer. I'm also not sure how much damage Bat was able to dish out in that fight. So does he have Ice Block now? Does he not have it yet? We're going to see that pretty soon. Blaze is distracted in the top lane. That could be the big go-to moment for KT to really, you know, set up a fight, keep position over this, keep control over this.
But you can tell by the positioning here, although Muradin is
anti-healing on Muradin.
Ignoring it here. Anti-healing is good.
Oh my goodness, big mistake.
So what I was going to say is, looking at the positioning of Rainer, there is no chance TeamNut actually wants to try and commit to this. They just want to try and feign like they do. But instead, Muradin oversteps, gets caught out, and Team KT are starting to tick their way up in terms of protector percentage. With 40 seconds left until Muradin, that is almost certainly going to be KT's first protector of the game.
And you know what? Potentially the strongest protector of this game, because the longer we go into this game, the bigger the scaling is going to be. Looks like Rainer using the Hyperion there to get a 4. Doesn't even get it. That's a long cooldown to burn, and they can no longer bank on the Hyperion now when it comes to defending their base. That might have been a big misplay. So, Protector has arrived. Looks like Irel is stepping inside. That's a good move. Decker Kane, though, shouldn't be in there. He needs those potions for Sergeant Hammer. So I'm pretty sure if they enter like a large-scale combat fight here, they're definitely going to switch it out, and maybe Jaina goes in there. Yep. Here we go.
There we go. They begin to creep
pushing
forward. You can see Chromie looking for damage. Merc's pushing in the top lane. Like you said, they really do need to keep pushing, because right now, they are behind in basically every single way, and their opponents have 20. The Protector is their one chance to really get tier 2s. Instead, they're actually going to go for tier 1s and try and get themselves their own level 20. I actually prefer this. I take back my previous statement. Getting this gives them a safer level 20. This means they're actually on even footing now. If they were pushing in, it takes only 1 dive past the Protector to give TeamNut a couple kills, and then everything is going against them. KT even picked the orbital BFG right now.
Keep in mind,
it's had to nerf, so it doesn't affect structures anymore.
I was going to say, you can't go for those sneaky plays in which you just hammer down those structures slowly but surely. Look at that big damage coming in from the Protector, by the way. Hammer needs to get herself into position. They really want that fort in the top lane as well to even out the score. They disable it with a ranged fist.
2, 1.
Here comes the Dragon Queen. Jaina needs to get to safety immediately.
Hyperion's down as well. Charge gets the stun. Stay a while and listen. Not the upgraded version. He's gone for the brilliant gems instead. As they creep forward, Kiara comes in from the other side. Looking for a disengage. The Dragon Queen already being used as they raid forward. The slowing sands, annoying Sergeant Hammer, but Hammer is not the target. They're focusing up to the front line. Might be a bit of a folly here. Turret gonna be killed off in the back line. Here comes the Lifebinder, which is actually only gonna heal a 2. He is the one time. BFG
comes another round.
Disengage.
And hitting Alexstrasza here is so huge, because you could really see if she is brought down low in health, not only will she be able to, you know, deliver reduced healing from her Q, but also the Lifebinder won't be as efficient. Now, looks like there's another battle breaking out here over this healing pulse camp. The BFG is still aimed on top lane, so that won't help them in the team fight at all. Chromie trying to chip down the enemy heroes a little bit more, but TeamNut, they realize that this is not a fight they want to take. They basically didn't really look good that last fight. Alexstrasza was chipped down much too low, and now all of a sudden, Tetra, it is KT with 2 healing upgrades in their possession. Can they actually ride the momentum all the way through? That's the question. Can they win this game? Only one more victory is all that takes for them to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
TeamNut, they were ahead so much in this early game, but they're starting to show cracks in the outer shell as they begin to creep forward pre-Blaze. Again, Muradin massively steps forward. This time, though, not punished. He's already got Blessing of the Red applied, very likely. I'm pretty sure Alex has had time to apply to everyone.
This is
Here
a
comes
risky
the raid. Muradin getting rooted, a huge damage and a heal. He leaps away. He will survive, but everyone else is now in danger in the backline. Bunker having to be dropped, which will try and zone away multiple members as they move back onto the Merc camp. Dia, back in the bunker, stays alive in that Hyperion with that bunker. Will allow to disengage. The question is, with the camp taken by KT, TeamNut will be able to clear that up, but the fact is, was it worth losing all of those items on both sides? I'd say probably yes, because KT have map control, and theirs is the nearest mercenary camp, the nearest fortification camp, so they can make a play off of that. So it's not so bad that they just blew a healing pulse.
I mean, they get a turret themselves here right now. They also still have one healing pulse left. Look at that. Orbital BFG getting a little bit of value onto those reinforcing minion waves here. But yeah, this is a play where this was a commitment to a level that we wouldn't have seen in other regions. China is still so much focused on team fighting. It's oftentimes, you know, sometimes I mistake it as a question of honor. Like, we cannot retreat. We cannot give the opponents the victory, the success feeling of, you know, pushing us back. Now, Irel baiting a little bit of an engagement here, having to use the Ardent Defender, which is a big cooldown to burn. There goes the turret, though, so I would say equalized value in that regard. The next Protector, though, will be activated in the middle. The platform goes live right now. What do we have in terms of heroic cooldowns on TeamNut? We see 20 seconds until Hyperion, but 100 seconds for Irel to make those big protection plays.
Keep going, I'm going to try to fix the mic.
Okay, no worries, I got you. Muradin dropping low, really needs to be careful of those emerald cubes as well. We've actually seen 2 cubes go down in one team fight thanks to the level 20 talent of Decker Kane with a perfect gems. Cooldown reduction is key. Here comes a massive Hyperion. Can KT swing around and change the angle of combat?
Test, 1, 2, 3.
You're sounding marvelous, my friend.
Perfect. Mercy coming in from the side. Blaze charge, but is dodged by Kiaru here as Mercy eats a lot of damage from JD. He's able to pull back, though, keeping himself alive and healthy. Alex getting that Blossom quick. Time stop onto Timeless, who eats so much Chromie damage, but a lot of it was blocked. Good
nice
BFG! And Muradin is going to be able to survive just with the Avatar. He leaves out the abundance, though. He loses a lot of healing there.
Big win now. KT can actually just wait for the Alexstrasza Dragon Queen to run out. The Avatar was used as well. They still have more than enough time. Actually, if you look at the timer, 48%. The orbitals keep flying in as well, chipping down ever so slightly onto the enemy team's health bars. The Dragon has run out. Muradin without any Avatar plays. Can they reinitiate now? KT, that is. Timeless still has the Indestructible. He can basically force so much attention onto him. The healing pulse goes down, so does the bunker.
BFG from downtown wakes up. Muradin actually might have saved his life there. That healing pulse finally expires as Dia is dropping low. Though, can that time make it? No, it is denied by the anti-healing, by the Emerald, and Dia
it goes again.
Is dropped here. Nightmare pulling back, and that's going to be at least more percentage for KT, but with that dead Blaze, I think this is almost certainly going to be the full Protector.
Don't go greedy here, KT. You already got this. They're bringing themselves into a bad position. Timeout is being countered by an Ice Block, but I think it's a dead Jaina. It was not really needed. They don't even get the Protector right now. KT, stop team fighting. Go for the objective. You had it already.
How do you spell greed? Because I spell it with a KT. As we see the move forward, that makes more sense in my head. Chromie dies off to the side, though, losing the 1v1 duel to Hammer as Nightmare. Once again, suffering from the anti-healing, getting dropped low, gets away with the Dwarf Toss. Kiaru thinks about chasing, but decides against it.
Tetra, was that the Water Elemental still being alive and finishing Chromie? Because I have no idea how Jaina got the kill.
It was Hammer. Jada got the kill? Yeah, it was the Water Elemental. Yeah, Hammer and the Water Elemental pinging away at Chromie down below.
Oh my goodness, what a roller coaster of emotions there for KT. Winning a team fight, forcing the opponents back, then getting greedy, chasing unnecessarily, but now they end up getting the Protector after all. 2 people are inside, Decker Kane being one of them, so Lotus needs to play very cautiously right now. Hammer is unprotected, no potions available, no anti-healing available from Decker Kane either.
they continuing to creep forward, like you said. Decade K being his protector, it's a risky call. I think I actually would prefer Heroic for exactly that reason, but once again, Decade is such a good target. Protected down to half health. They move into the backline. Dia taking a lot of damage. Nightmare also dropping low. Nice use of the bunker, though. They juggle some health. Good Rocket Fist onto a Tui, but he gets a quick life binder onto himself here. Yep. Nightmare low on armor. Dia low on health. Quick charge away. BFG lands, but they're both able to pull back.
Jaina's incoming. The Protector is still hammering on that core. Dragon Queen as a last resort. Can they hold it?
They are holding it. The Dragon Queen keeps them alive, and TeamNut BFG once again whittles away on that big old Dragon Queen hitbox. And that's going to be enough to force the disengage. 30 seconds left on an 11% health Protector. And this will likely be the end of this push, but they're going to hover around the area because there's nothing else for them to do. They want to try and keep pressure on and force TeamNut to make a mistake.
Yeah, they're trying to bait them out, saying, hello, look at our Protector. Isn't it ready for the taking? Isn't it juicy low? Don't you want to kill it? But TeamNut, they're not baited that easily. They're not lured out of their base just like that. They realize, you know what? We've held on to this game because of a mistake of our opponent. We're not giving away that advantage that we have right now.
Protector sniped by Chromie. Good news for TeamNut, but this still have no control of the map. They've still lost a keep when their opponents haven't. BFG is angled interestingly. Just see it soaring off into the distance. But we see right now the healing, the support camp is going to be the next target for both of these teams. Who is going to be able to take control here? Chromie beginning to stack up, beginning to fire in these shots. Hyperion from off to the side. That will probably guarantee the camp dying. Question is, what can they get from it? Kiaru dives in. Mercy's being targeted, but Mercy so far is surviving as bad. It's diving super deep. Lifebinder is being dropped. Dia and the anti-healing onto Nightmare. They're holding the line, but both are dropping low. Bunker is off cooldown. Needs to drop it. He does! And Dia stays alive. They turn it around. Cam taken by Timeless. He's trying to pick up the healing pulse, but he can't. He's dropped down. And the camp was taken by KT, but the pulse and 2 kills are picked up by TeamNut.
TeamNut are holding strong. Raider with a flank. If that penetrating round had landed onto Bat, they probably would have gotten the kill onto Jaina as well. Be it as it may, only 2 victims on the side of KT, and look at the catapults. They're hammering on the core already. Not now, the replay. We have the bottom right corner to see what is going on here. Huge distraction created by Timeless, but then it was Kiaru completely all by himself. Look at the Chromie damage with those auto attacks as well. Kiaru can't make it out alive again. Boom, boom, bang.
Bunker. It loses them the camp because Nightmare dives out and Dia backs up to get the Abundance heal, which keeps him alive as well. But Timeless, look at him. He's trying to click the healing pulse, but the bunker was on top of it. He was only autoing the bunker, so he couldn't steal and just quickly drop it. That's really cool. I like that.
That was such a sick team fight that TeamNut was just able to win. Their core has taken a little bit of damage, 95%. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. Dagger Kane, you need to be able to, take the turret that he did, but he had to get to safety immediately. A big orbital cannon coming through from Lotus.
And once Chromie overextending here, in trouble. Stay a while and listen with the armor being applied. Anti-armor now being applied. Anti-heal and rip abundance. Down goes Dia. And now Nightmare. He's trying to distract for his team, but there's nothing he can do with all that anti-healing. He has to back up. Atui might just have to drop this healing pulse. He does.
Oh, the ice block.
It could be dropped here. Ice block blocks him. He gets rooted, and Dragon Queen goes down. Mercap still pushes top lane, but it's going to be a 5 versus 2 defense as KT look to send TeamNut to the Crucible as they move on to the call.
Wow, that positioning on Chromie was a little too deep. It was a little too aggressive there, and now with 3 members being dead, there's nothing TeamNut can do to stabilize. They're being sent to the Crucible by KT, and KT themselves make a big step towards advancing and, in those playoffs, denying the Crucible from themselves, at least for now.
That is it. Congratulations to KT taking it in that 4th game of the series. It wasn't easy. They were losing the early game, but it only took 1 mistake for KT to be able to capitalize and even up the score. And after that, was even fights, and the Emerald Cubes of Deckard Cain were just too much to handle.
Tetra, if anyone else gets the MVP other than TWT on that Deckard Cain, I'm going to put down my headset and leave the room, because that was amazing. The perfect gems value at level 20, reducing the cooldown of that Emerald. He kept spamming it into the abundance circles, onto the Muradin when he used Stone Skin to keep himself alive. It was just beautiful to see how Deckard Cain reigned supreme on that battleground, and the old man just basically carried his team to victory. Don't know how he does it with that old back, but he carried them all.
And well, sad